Welcome to Impact Math. Happy New Year. Alrighty, we are going to be doing some Algebra 1. So if you know anybody that's been struggling with Algebra 1, please share this live with them. All right, we're going to start off with some inequalities, some graphing. We're going to be doing systems though. So it says solve each inequality, then graph the solution set. So what we're going to do here first is we're going to get rid of this -4 by multiplying both sides by -4. Okay. This cancels. And then -4 times 2 is 8. But you have to remember, when you multiply by a negative, you have to flip the sign. So we're going to flip it and we're going to write X. Okay. And then if we want to go to graphing it, okay, I always say when you go to graphing it, if you're not good with this sign less than or greater than, just rewrite this as X. But when you put the X on this side, you have to flip it again. So it flips this way and 8. And then draw you a number line. You're going to put 0 in the middle. Oh, it should be -8, right? Because 2 times a negative, a positive times a negative is negative. So we're going to put -8 over here. And it's an open circle. Okay, it's an open circle because it doesn't have this line underneath. And then which way do we shade? We look to where it's pointing. And so I'm going to shade we're going to add it, subtract it. Good. 2x, 2x. Subtract. Perfect. Yes, because this is a positive 2x, so we have to do the opposite. So we're going to minus 2x to both sides. Wonderful. And then 3x minus 2x gives us 1x plus 5 less than or equal to -7. Wonderful. All right. Now, what do I do next? How do I get x by itself? Hey, Natalie. -5. Wonderful, you guys. I see them in the comments. -5, -5. Perfect. We don't want to bring this 7 over here because we want to get x by itself. So we're going to get x is less than or equal to -12. Good. And if we're going to graph this, okay, let's just put it over here. We're going to put 0 in the middle. -12 is somewhere over here. Now, is it an open circle or a closed circle? What do you guys say? Open or closed? Happy New Year, everyone. Closed? All right. Yes, it is closed because it has this equal sign underneath. Perfect. So it's going to be closed. And then are we shading left or are we shading right? Can you guys put it in the chat? What do we say? Left or right? So somebody said right, somebody said left. Good. How I always try to teach is which way is this pointing? So it's pointing towards the left. Like this pointer is going to the left. So we have to shade to the left. Okay. Perfect. All right. We have a translate each sentence into an inequality. So it says -5/4. Can somebody put this in the chat? Oh, good. Your favorite content. Wonderful. Can somebody put, how do we write -5/4? This was interesting. Some of my students were writing it kind of crazy. How do you guys say it? Yes. We did do this in class. Hey. Okay, somebody said, I don't know. I'm learning exponential. Okay, as a fraction. Negative 5/4n. Perfect. Yes. So negative 5/4 is a fraction. So you're going to put 5/4 and then times a number. Well, we don't know what this number is, so we're going to put n, okay, plus 6 is less than 12. Okay. So good among us. Yes, I see you. This is how we would write this. Yes, Jonah, I do college algebra as well. Yep. So we're going to add 6. Good. Jeremiah said add 6 to both sides. Yes, add 6. Oh, are we adding or are we subtracting? Well, we got to do the opposite. So we're going to subtract 6 to both sides. Do the opposite. And then I'm just going to move this over here, you guys. So we're going to rewrite it as negative 5/4 over 4. N is less than 12 minus 6 is 6. Now, what do we do next? This stumped a lot of my kids. I was like, don't start psyching yourself out. What do we want to get rid of? So negative 5/4 to both sides. Divide. Yes, we can divide. Or divide by 5/4, or we can multiply. Yes, we can multiply by what? How I see it is I want to get rid of this positive 4. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. Okay. This cancels and I get negative 5n is less than 6 times 4 is 24. All right. And then if I want n by itself, I'm going to what? How do I get n by itself? Oh, somebody said I lost you right there. Divide by negative 5. Yes, we're going to divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5. So let's go here. So this step right here is the same step that we did when we started the problem. See, when you're trying to get a letter by itself, the number and letter by itself, you have to get rid of what's in the bottom. And while we're doing the opposite of division is we're multiplying, we're trying to clear the fraction. That's what it's called. So we're trying to multiply both sides by what's in the bottom. So this cancels and it leaves negative 5n less than, and then you multiply 6 times 4. That's how you get and it's the same thing as like we did over here. We wanted this negative 4 gone, so we had to multiply both sides. We had to undo division by multiplying both sides by negative 4. Okay. And then so we get n. So I hope that helps. Is less than, I think it's negative 4.8, 4 point something. So let's see here. So we're going to do clear. So we're going to go to 24 divided by negative 5, and we get negative 4.8. Perfect. Okay. And so now this is our answer, and now we're going to graph it. Okay. So we put 0 in the middle. Negative 4.8 is on this side. Now, is it an open circle or a closed circle? Thank you, Roxy, for the finger heart. Thank you. Oh, no, don't let it be too much. It's open. Good. It's open because it's just a less than sign. And then which way are we pointing? Which way is this pointing? It's pointing to the left. So we shade to the left. Okay. And you'll find this this is on the GED test. Some of these are as well on the GED. Okay. So this will help you if you're studying for the GED as well. Okay. So now let's do some graphing. Oh, good catch there. I did this is what I tell my students all the time. Somebody said, flip the sign. Thank you. Whenever you divide by negative, you have to flip the sign. So we should have flipped it here. Thank you guys for catching that. So really we should be shading to the right because we did not flip the sign. So here, let's cross this out. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Flip that sign whenever you divide by a negative number. Thank you, thank you. Flip the sign. Okay. And most people forget this. Thank you, Phi. Thank you, Naomi. All right. Thank you, you guys. You guys caught that for me. Thank you, thank you. So let's look at 3. Okay. So identify the slope and the y-intercept, then graph. All right. So in order for you to identify the slope and the y-intercept, I'm hoping that your teacher said something about this. Y equals mx plus b. The y equals mx plus b, right? Now, what does the m stand for? Can anybody put that in the chat? What does the m stand for? Welcome in, everyone. Happy New Year to those who are welcome to the family, and those who are new, welcome. Rise over run. Perfect. Somebody said rise over run. And what is rise over run called? Slope. Yes. Another word for slope that you might see is the rate of change. They use this terminology a lot in middle school. Rate of change, and then they go to slope. So don't forget, rate of change also means slope. Good. And the slope is always attached to the x, which you guys said was 3. Good. Now, but I need to write this as a rate. So it's 3 over what? What can I put that over? Can anybody let me know? What can we put it over? Good. Perry said 1. Yes, 1. Perfect. And then somebody said the y-intercept, which stands for the b, is, I saw some people say 5, but don't forget, you have to take the sign with it. It's -5. Okay. Good. So now this is our y, this is our x. Remember, the b is where you start at. So this is our starting. So I'm going to go on the y-axis and I'm going to put -5, a point right there. And then from there, this is what it tells me. Rise, go up 3, run to the +1. So I'm going to go up 3 over 1. Put a point. Up 3 over 1. Okay, and you're going to continue. Now, really, you only need 3 points to graph. You only need 2 points to graph a line. But when you start to get into systems, it's very important that you follow through, because you're looking for intersections between two linear functions. Okay, so that's why it's important to follow through. Okay. So good, you guys. We did the first easy. Good. I'm glad people are saying easy. All right. So now this is our last spiral review. I always do a spiral review because I feel like it helps my students keep the knowledge and not just like, oh, I haven't done this in so long, I forgot everything, right? So I always do like 4 problem spiral review, and then we do the practice for that, like that lesson. Okay. So now this one. Okay, it says, write an equation in slope-intercept form that passes through the points -3, -1, and 3, 9. All right. Oh, thank you, May, for the roses. Somebody said, lost all my brain cells. That's how I felt when I was trying to, it took me like a couple of times to pass that second praxis test, the core math test. I'm like, what in the world happened? Like, how am I not passing this? It's like crazy, but everything happens for a reason. All right. So I have a testimony. Okay. Let me tell you. So I understand the frustration when you like, hold up, I should know this. Why am I not passing the test? I get it. So let's look. So first we're going to find the slope. Can anybody tell me what am I going to write on my top here? 3 plus 3 over 9 plus 1. I love it. Yes. Jeremy said 3 plus 3. Perfect. Yes. So this is what we're doing right here. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see it okay. So our y2 is 9. So we're going to do 9 minus our y1, which is a -1. But hold up. 2 negatives always equal a positive. Okay. Then we do our x2, which is 3 minus our x1, which is a -3. 2 negatives always equal a positive. Okay. So now we're going to get 9 plus 1 gets us 10. And 3 plus 3 gets us 6. Okay. And can we reduce that? Can we reduce it? Can it be simplified? Can it be simplified? Yes, yes, good. What can we simplify this by? 5/3. Good. Yes. 5 over, perfect. We can divide this by 2 and divide this by 2. So we get 5 over 3 because 6 divided by 2 is 3 and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this is our slope, okay? Now we're going to use our point. This is called the point slope formula, okay? This y always stays the same, but this y1 changes because we can substitute in this -1 that we said y1 was. So we could substitute -1 in for y1. And then our m is 5/3 over this x stays the same minus our x1. Well, we said x1 was -3. Okay. Now, remember, 2 negatives equal a positive. 2 negatives here equal a positive. Now, we're almost done, right? Because this is point slope. We need to write it in slope-intercept form. So what we're going to do is we're going to simplify. We're going to solve for y. So good. Jeremiah said distribute. Ooh, you on it. Yes. So we're going to distribute here. What does that mean? All that means whenever you hear somebody say distribute, you just think of multiply, okay? That's all we're doing is multiplying. So we're going to do 5 over 3 times x. So 5/3 x. And then 5/3 times 3. Well, these 3's cancel each other. And so what's left is just plus 5. For somebody that didn't follow that, let me show you why. Really what you're doing here is you're doing 5/3 times 3. That's what you're doing. So we can put this 3 over 1. And does everybody see how these cancel out? So really you're left with just the 5. Yep. Okay, so just in case anybody didn't understand that. So now we have y plus 1. We have to drop down this side. All right, I'm still trying to get this y by itself. So how do I get this plus 1 to the other side? Can somebody put it in the chat for me? -1. Good. So we're going to minus 1 to both sides. Perfect. And then we're going to get, so what's left on this side is just y equals, I'm going to drop down this 5 over 3x. 5 minus 1 gives me a plus 4. And that's our slope-intercept form. Perfect, perfect. Azul, you just love math. If you're in AP Calc, you love math. I'm telling you. No, but that's awesome. That's awesome. What grade is this? I do this with my freshmen. So this is 9th grade Algebra 1. Oh, thank you. Hey, it's Lauren. Thank you, guys. All right. So now let's actually get into systems. Okay. So we're going to start graphing systems. These are called systems. They're systems because they're given 2 equations. Okay. So graph each system and determine the number of solutions it has. If it has a solution, determine the coordinates. All right, so let's start with equation 1. Can you guys tell me the m and the b for the equation 1? Ooh, over 1. M is 4, b is 2. Perfect. M is 4. I'm going to put 4 over 1. And the b is 2. Good, because remember, this is y equals mx plus b, okay? Slope and y-intercept, okay? Just in case you just came into the live. I do want to let you know, okay? So now, remember, this stands for y-intercept. So this is my y-axis, and I'm going to put a 2 on the y. So here's my 2. I'll put a point. Boom, okay? Now, from here, I have to go up 4 to the 1 positive. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Put a point. Okay. Up 4 over 1. Now, I have a question for you guys. What if I want to find this part of it? What do I have to do? What direction do I have to go? Can anybody tell me? So before I was going up 4 over 1, how do I get the rest of my line? Down to the left. Perfect. Yes. So if you go up, what I tell my students, now switch the direction. So we're going to go down, but if we go down, we have to go to the other way. We have to go left. Perfect. So now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1. And then do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1. Perfect. Okay. So this is my line. Okay. Now my second equation. Okay. So my second equation, I need to identify the m and the b. You guys are saying the m is -2 over 1. And our b is going to be -4. Okay. All right. Now, remember, this is where we start graphing. The -4 is where we start. Let me scoot it over. Sorry. The -4 is where we start. So we're going to look at the y. I go on this line till I find -4. Right here, I put a point. Okay. Now, my slope tells me, what does my slope tell me? Can you guys tell me? What is this telling me to do? What direction? Drop 2. Good. Right 1. Perfect. Yes. Drop 2. Right 1. Excellent. So I'm going to drop 2 over 1. Drop 2 over 1. Drop 2 over 1. All right. Now, but I still can't see what my answer is. So how do I get the other half of this line? Instead of dropping, which way do I have to go? Then do the opposite. That girl, Jade. Yes, Jade. Jade said do the opposite. So instead of going down to the right, I have to go up and to the left. Boom. Up 2 to the left 1. And this is my line. Okay, good. So now we just graphed our 2 equations. But most people are like, whew, I just did all that work. I am done. No, no, no. Don't forget. The solution is where they intersect. So you have to do this last step. Don't forget to write your answer. Can somebody tell us what this answer is? Ooh. Okay, so I am, Nikki said -1, -2. Yes. -1, -2. Perfect. Remember, you always do the x first. So -1. And then the y is a -2. And this is your solution. That's our point. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm getting some people saying they don't understand. No problem. We're going to do another one, okay? So don't worry about it if you're not getting it. Sometimes it takes our brains a little bit to wake up, or sometimes it just takes another day to look at it, okay? But I'm for sure going to do another one for you guys, okay? So let's do a couple of more, all right? So no worries. So now we're going to graph the system, determine the number of solution it has. If it has no solution, or if it has a solution, determine the coordinate. All right. Whew. Okay. Let's look at this first equation, you guys. What is the M and what is the B? What grade is this? This is Algebra 1. I teach this to 9th graders. And then I also have a credit recovery. So basically, if anybody failed freshman year, they come to me. And if they need a math credit, they take this with me as well, instead of doing it online. Yep, but this is freshman algebra. Mm-hmm. 1, good. KM, yes. Jeremiah. Okay, so, and this is, I think 8th graders do this as well, too. So the M right here, whenever you don't see a number by the X, you guys, it's always a 1, okay? So this is 1 over 1, okay? There's always an imaginary 1 right there. Now our B is going to be -6. You have to have this memorized. B is the y-intercept. And you have to understand this is where you start on the y-axis, okay? So I'm going to look at my axes, and I'm going to go all the way down to where I get a -6 right here. Boom, I put my point. Now here, my slope is telling me I'm going up to the +1 and over to the +1. So up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and you just keep on following that pattern, okay, all the way through, okay? Especially in systems, because you need the two equations to intersect if they're intersectable, okay? So really here, what we're going to do, so if I went up 1 over 1, to get the other half down here, I have to go the other direction. Down 1 to the left. Down 1 to the left, down 1 to the left. And this is my first graphing equation, okay? That's my first line. That's my equation 1 right here. Now we're going to look at equation 2. I don't see a number right here, but I know that it's always an imaginary 1. Whenever they don't put a number there, it's always 1 over 1, okay? And you're going to rise and go to the right, okay? This B here is 2. Hopefully this is going off in somebody's head. Thank you, Moni, for the rose. Thank you, thank you. This is hopefully something is screaming in somebody's head. Hopefully this is like screaming. Do you guys see, are they going to intersect, or are they, what type of equations are these called? This is very important for the GED. Oh, somebody's in college algebra? No. They won't intersect? No solution? Parallel. That's what I was looking for. Yes. Now, let me tell you guys, we didn't have to do any of this. How you know these are parallel is by knowing that they have the same slope. Right here, when I drew 1, 1, 1, 1, that was like, oh, they're parallel. Because if the two equations have the same exact slope, that means that they're going to be like this. They'll never intersect. But let's graph it, okay? So B is, we're starting, remember, on the Y, we find 2. We put a point. This says I go up 1, over 1. You guys are awesome. Yes, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And most teachers, you guys should pray for something like this, because if they're just saying determine if it's parallel, perpendicular, or neither, you don't have to do any math. You just have to know what the slope is. Whenever your teacher is asking you for parallel, perpendicular, okay? If you know the slope, then you can determine those. Okay, so we're going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And they often do that on standardized tests because they simply want you to understand if you have the same slope, they're parallel. No solution. Okay. Yep, you don't need that many dots. You are right. You are 100% correct. We do not need this many dots to graph a line. No. But some of my kids, they'll only graph 2. And then I don't know what it is about their, like, I'm like, use a ruler, but they be like, it just be off. So I'm like, just graph it all the way. Okay, because especially when you get into this kind where you have to determine where they intersect, their lines be so crazy. It's like, what's your answer? So that's why I'm teaching freshmen, so I just go all the way. But yeah, you're 100% correct. You don't. But for the freshmen that can't do the line, that's why I do that. All right, so let's look at number 7, okay? Let's look at number 7. Oh, this is a step up, okay? Because the last 2 examples, I want to show you what we did. The last 2 examples were given in y equals mx plus b form, okay? This was given in y equals mx plus b, and both of these right here were given y equals mx plus b. Number 7 is not given. Good. Desiree said minus x on both sides. I love it. I love it, Desiree. Yes. So here I did this little reminder, like a little, what is it called? It's like a little cheat sheet. No, I forgot what the terminology is, but I put this for my students so that it can remind them what to do. Okay. So I said, solve this for y. Okay. So Desiree said we're going to minus x to both sides. Perfect. What's left? We get y equals. Now, these are not like terms. We cannot combine these. Remember that. So we're just going to write them right next to each other. We get a negative x, and since this is a positive 4, we put plus 4. Now we have it in y equals mx plus b form. Boo said yx. Wonderful. That's a fantastic question, Boo. Why we're doing this is because we want this is called standard form. We want to change this into the y equals mx plus b form, so that when we graph these, it'll be easier just to identify the m and the b. Now, if you know how to graph by intercepts, that's another way, but it's all the same. There's multiple ways to do this. There's never one way, okay? So I did want to let you guys know that, okay? So now, what is our m and what is our b? Can somebody help me out? Put it in the chat. What's our m and what's our b? Thank you, Jeremy, for hanging. God bless you too. I'm literally learning this. -1 and 4. B is 4. Perfect. So our B here is a positive 4. And our M is -1 over, whenever you put the slope, whenever you have a whole number, you could put it over 1. Perfect. So here I'm going to go down 1 to the positive, to the right 1. Okay. So I start with my 4. So on my y-axis, I go till I find 4. Boom. From here, this is telling me to go down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Okay, and this is my line. All right. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me how to do this one? How do we solve this for y? Subtract 3x on both sides. Perfect, Jonathan. Yes, Evelyn. Perfect. So we're going to subtract 3x to both sides. Yep. This cancels. And we get a 3y equals, okay, remember, these are not like terms. That's why I'm not writing this under this, okay, because these are not like terms. So we're just going to write them right next to each other. -3x plus 12. Perfect. Now, what's our last step? How do we get y by itself? Then divide by 3. Good. Divide by 3 to both sides. Excellent. So we're going to divide each term by 3. Okay, this cancels. And we get y equals a negative 3 divided by 3 is a negative 1. X. And then 12 divided by 3 is plus 4. Well, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Does anybody see it? Oh, good. I'm glad you love it. So MK said negative 1 plus 4. Okay, so I'm assuming you're saying negative 1 is our M. And B is 4. Oh, are they parallel or are they infinitely many solutions? Which one? So let's graph this. Okay, remember I'm starting at 4. So I found 4. My slope told me to go down 1 to over 1. Down 1 over 1. I'm on the exact same line. It's the same. So since this line right here is the same equation as this, they're the exact same equation. And since they are the exact same, infinitely many solutions. Okay. Now my book talks about consistent versus inconsistent, independent versus dependent. I don't know if your teachers told you those vocabulary words, but basically they're the same line. In geometry, they're called coincident. I don't know if you guys are hearing this terminology in your classes, but they're infinitely many solutions, okay? When they're the exact same one. Perfect. And I forgot to put no solution because they're parallel, okay? All right, wonderful. Yes. Well, okay, so somebody said parallel versus infinite. Yes, no solution for parallel, same line, infinitely many solutions, okay? Good. I'm glad it makes sense. Perfect. Good. All right. Let's keep it pushing. Okay. Let's do a couple of more. And then I make these for my students though, because we use Reveal Math. Let me show you guys. You guys, it's like the workbook is ridiculous. Let me just tell you that. Like, okay, let me just show you guys what my district bought. Because it's okay, the district spends millions of dollars. I mean the product is good. Like this book is really challenging and all this. But you guys, look at this. Where are the kids supposed to do their work? Right? Okay, you got this. And then, where are they supposed to show their work? I mean, I could say do 6, 7, 5, write it out on a piece of paper. But we're in the new day and age. Who wants this attached to this? I just like it like this better. So I just make I just write it out and then I'm able to give hints and help people and do, so much more. It's isn't this way better, you guys? I feel like it is. My students love it. So, yeah. That's how they told us, shaking our head. What grade do you teach? I have 9th all the way to 12th. I do a credit recovery, and I also have I teach freshmen, but I my other 2 blocks, I teach anyone that has failed before. Then you come to me, and that's before going on to Edgenuity. Do you have a GED math thread? Yes, I do. I started a GED list of all the problems that I've done for GED. I'm going to be going live tomorrow for GED, okay? So be on the lookout for that. All right. So let's do this one, you guys. So we're going to solve for y here. So what do I move first? What do I move first here? How do I solve this for y? Tomorrow, what time tomorrow? I'll be going live at 6 p.m. Central Time. Okay? 6 Central Time. Or I might go a little bit earlier because I actually don't have no tutoring tomorrow. So I might go at around like 5 the same time, okay? Because I don't have nobody to tutor tomorrow. Can you subtract 2x to both sides? Yes, let's do it. Perfect. So we're going to subtract 2x and we're going to subtract 2x, okay? So we're canceling here. We're going to drop down our 3y equals. Remember, these are not like terms. Don't combine them. So we're going to get negative 2x plus 12. Good. Oh, good luck, local. You got this. Okay. Oh, good. You need to study for the CBEST. I remember taking that test when I used to live in California. I graduated from Sac State. Whoop, whoop. Hornets. Yep, that's where I got my bachelor's degree from. So good luck on your CBEST. You got this. Yep. All right, so we're going to do negative 2 over 3x plus 4. Okay. Now, my M and my B, okay? B is the 4. My M is always attached to the x. So it's going to be negative 2 over 3. Okay. That's our M. All right. Now, let's graph this. So we're going to put y over here. We're going to start with B at 4 right here on the y. And my slope tells me to drop 2, go to the right 3. So we're going to drop 2, right 3. Put a point. Drop 2, right 3. Put a point. Drop 2, right 3. Put a point. Okay. Now remember, you can always go to the opposite, right? So instead of dropping 2, we can go up 2 and to the left 3. And then that will be our line. Okay. That's our first line. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. And then I'm just going to up 2 over 3. And then that's that. All right. Now, okay, help me solve this one. What do we do first, you guys? What do we do first? If we want to solve this 2x minus y equals 4 for y, what do we do first? Thank you so much for the double taps and the shares. Thank you for all the follows, you guys. Can we get to 35 likes, please? Can everybody take a second to double tap their screen for me? Thank you for the support. Good. Emma said minus 2x. Hill said minus 2x. Thank you so much, you guys. So we're going to minus 2x to both sides. Good. Now, what do I drop down? What do I write on this side? Can somebody put it in the chat? What do I write on this side? Negative y? Good. Yes, don't forget this negative right there. That's going to throw off your whole answer if you forget this, okay? So negative y, remember these are not like terms. So we just write them right next to each other, okay? Good. And then what's our last step? What do we have to do? Does anybody know? Thank you, you guys. We're at 23.8 likes. Climbing 20. Thank you. Let's get to 30 likes, 30K likes. Divide by -1. Awesome. So we're going to divide by -1 to each and everything. Perfect. So we end up with y equals a negative divided by a negative is always a positive. And then a positive divided by a negative is a -4. So here we have our b, which is -4, and our m is 2 over 1. Okay, so now we're going to start at our b, okay, on the y. So I go to y, I look for -4, and I put my point. And then here, I'm going to go up 2 over 1. So up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And then I draw my line right here. And I did all that work and I want to be like, I'm done. But remember, no, you are not. You have to do one more thing. What do we have to do? What is our answer? Can you guys put it in the chat for me? What is our answer? Oh, you're so welcome, Unknown. 3-2. Desiree said 3-2. Intersection. Yes, Marlene said intersection. 3-2, 3-2. Wonderful. Yes. Our point of intersection is you read from the X first. So it's 3 on the X, 2 on the Y. And this is your answer. Perfect. Good, you guys. So now what we've been doing this whole time is we've been solving by graphing, okay? Solving by graphing. What we're going to jump into next is substitution, okay? We're going to jump into substitution. That's what we're going to do next, all right? So, okay. Oh, thank you, John. Thanks. So graph each system, all right? We have here, we're going to solve this one for Y, okay? So you guys are going to tell me to minus 2x to both sides. Okay. This cancels. And we're going to drop down our 2y equals. Don't combine these. These are not like terms. That's why I did not put this underneath here. Remember, we just write them right next to each other. Okay. Our last step always. Yes, Mrs. Strong. Yep. I tutor outside. I am just getting back to all the emails because I took a little break for Christmas with my family, spend time and write my new goals out. But yeah, I tutor outside. So if you email me, I'm giving everybody my schedule for the month of all my open dates I have so far. And I'm going to keep on going from there. So, yep. So here is my B is 2 and my M is -1 over 1. Okay. So we're going to start. Remember, you always start on the Y axis. Okay. At 2. So we put a point here. And then my slope says go down 1 to the positive 1. Down 1 to the positive 1. Down 1 to the positive 1. Okay. And here goes our line right here. Okay. Now, we so done with this, right? It's like, can you just give it to us all in Y equals MX plus B form? My email, GoFace, my email's on my profile. So if you just go to my profile, yep, it's in my bio. Thank you, Trio. Thank you. So my B is -1 and my M is always next to the X, 2 over 1. Perfect. So I look for -1 on our Y axis. Then my slope says go up 2 over 1. So up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, boom. Woo. They intersect here. And can you guys put it in the chat? What is our solution? Oh, Trio girls. Thank you, Trio girls. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Now, I'm a math teacher, not English. I murder all my students' names 1,000 times, and then I never forget it. Wonderful. Yes. That one only girl. Yes. 1-1. Love it. Bomb. Yes. Nah. Yes. Good, you guys. Okay. So this is step 1, right? So now, right? Let's get rid of that. We done with graphing. Now let's jump into some substitution. Okay. So remember, I always start with some spiral review, what they should have learned throughout the 18 weeks we've been together. Okay. For my year-long class, my other 2 blocks are semester-wise. So, and then we'll jump in. Do you guys want to just jump to straight substitution, or you guys want to do the little review? You guys vote. Let's vote. Should we practice a couple of inequalities? Write an equation, or should we just go straight to substitution? Go straight. Review. Ooh. I'm like, should I try this poll? Does anybody know how to write a poll? Like, do the poll. How do we do, like, interact? Let's take a poll. Yeah, let's do a poll real quick. Quick poll. Okay. Well, okay. Ooh, let me see. How do I do it? Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna just start a poll. Okay, you guys? And you guys put let's put a crying face for go straight to substitution, or put a happy face for review, so I could just see real quick. Can you guys just take a poll real quick? And then whoever wins, okay, crying face is for go straight to substitution. Review is for the happy face. Okay. So happy face, review, substitution, crying face. Oh, all right. It looks like happy face is blowing out the crying faces. So we're going to start with this review, okay? So let's start with this review. All right. So let's solve each inequality. So how do we get... Ooh, that's my first time doing a poll, you guys. You guys are awesome. Oh, nice. I like it. That's my first time. Okay, so here... Remember, this is division. How do we get rid of division? We multiply. And what do we multiply by? That's the question. By 4. Perfect. Yes. By 4 to both sides. This cancels and we get x. Good. Is less than. We don't have to worry about no flipping no signs because we're not multiplying by negative. And then 9 times 4 is 36. Good. We're going to graph this. Put a 0 over here. Let's put 36 over here. Now, is it open or closed? What do you guys say in the comments? Open or closed? Open. Good. So it's open here. And then which way do we shade? Left or right? Which way do we shade? Left or right? Left. Ooh. Good. Left. Good. Remember, which way it always points is the way we shade. So it's pointing towards the X. It's pointing this way. We shade to the left. Good. All right. Can anybody tell me what to do with letter B? How do we solve this one? How do we get B by itself? Good. 60. Divide by 20. Yes, that's what I was hoping. Good. We're going to divide. Whenever you see a number attached to a variable, they're multiplied. To undo that, we have to divide. Perfect. So we're going to divide both sides by 20. And we get B is greater than or equal to -6. The zeros cancel. And then really it's just 12 divided by 2 is 6. Keep the negative. And perfect. Yep. Oh, be careful here because we're dividing by 20. So yeah, good. So here we have it. We're going to have 0 here. -6 should be somewhere over here. Now, is it open or closed? Ooh, that is a great question. Somebody asked, doesn't the sign flip? That's a great question. And what I'm going to ask you, did we divide by a negative number or did we just get a negative answer? That's how you know. If you divide it by a negative number, then you flip it. Not if you got a negative number. It doesn't matter if you get a negative number. The only time you flip it is if you divide by a negative or multiply by a negative. Good. So it is closed. Wonderful, you guys. It's closed because of this line under here that says equal. So we include -6, and then it's pointing towards the -6. It's pointing to the right. So that's the way we shade. Good. All right, y'all. Let's do this translating. We can never not do math without no word problems, right? We got to have them. I used to hate word problems. I'm telling you, like all through, like I was like, it doesn't make sense. And then one day, I don't know what my brain did, but it just all of a sudden clicked. I'm telling you, the more you just practice this stuff, it's like patterns. And then your brain just like hopefully will just click. You get that one person to explain it good to where it makes sense to you. Then it's like, oh, the gateway opens. I'm telling you. So the difference of 3 times a number and 6. Can you guys put that in the chat? How do we write it? Oh, good. So we leave the circle open if it's less than or greater than? Yes, that is exactly right. Because we don't include the number if it doesn't have that equal sign underneath. Good. So 3x minus 6. 3n minus 6. Perfect, you guys. Yes. So how my teacher always taught me this is the difference. That difference part goes in place of the word and. So really, I'm looking at 3 times a number. Well, I don't know what that number is. So I just put 3 times. You can put N, X, Y, any letter. I'm going to do X because I saw a lot of you guys put X. So 3X, difference means minus 6. Is greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to the sum of 15. So here goes that word, the sum that goes in place of the word and. So how do we write that? Oh, good, you guys. 15 plus 24n. Wonderful. 24n plus 15. Yep. 15 plus 24 times a number. 24 times a number. Okay, now what they should have said here is 24 times the same number, okay? Because the higher you go, you can't assume that these numbers are the same thing. But since I know this is an Algebra 1 level, I know it's the same number, okay? But just for future, if you go higher, they would have to say the same number, okay? Or the same, so you know not to change it to a Y or a different number, okay? Oh, sorry. Somebody said, girl, I need you before my exam. Oh, man. Well, I'm back now. So I'll be here all year long if you take another one. So now we have 3x minus 6 is greater than or equal to 15 plus 24x. All right. How we solve it? What do we do first, you guys? Put it in the chat. Thank you for all the follows and the double taps. I really appreciate it. Welcome in. Happy New Year. We're doing some systems, some review. Good. Somebody said minus 3x. Ooh, I'm going to go with what the first person said. So they want to bring the x to this side. Oh, somebody said subtract 24x. Now, you guys are all right. Everybody's right. But I'm going to do less steps because I have less work here. So I'm going to minus this 24x to this side, okay? In inequalities, I always want my x on the left side because when I go to graphing, I don't want to have to think like what it means. I only want to just look here and know like it's pointing to the left, pointing to the right, so I go to the right, okay? So this cancels. 3 minus 24 is a negative 21x. I'm going to drop down this negative 6 greater than or equal to 15. Good. All right. Now, I need this negative 21x by itself. So what do I have to move first? Oh, somebody said, but don't you want the x to be positive? Nope, I just want the x by itself. Not that I need it to be positive. I need it by itself. So I'm going to add 6. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to show you what I mean when I say I want it by itself. Okay, so hold on because I don't want to give it away. So I'm going to drop down this negative 21x over here. And then 15 plus 6 gives us 21. Now, how do we get x by itself? What do we do? Ooh, Nelly and Keys, I see y'all. Yes. Divide. 3 and 1/8 said divide. Good. Whenever you have a number attached to a variable, they're multiplied. What undoes multiplication? Division. That's why we cannot add, because addition doesn't undo multiplication, only division. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 21. Now be careful here. We divided by a negative number. Yes, it will change. Good. Would it change the sign? Yes, it would. So when I said I don't really care what is with the x, like if it's negative or positive, what I meant by that is I'm going to get x by itself. So it's okay to have a negative x, because in the end, I'm getting x by itself no matter how it's coming out, okay? So this is our perfect answer. Good, good, good. So now let's graph this bad boy. Okay. We have 0. We have -1 over here. Is it open? Is it closed? Can you guys put it in the chat? Is it open or is it closed? Closed circle, closed circle. Good. Yes, it is closed here because of this line underneath that said equal. And since it's pointing to the left, we're going to shade to the left because it's pointing to the X. So we shade to the left. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. All right. Oh, good. You're learning this right now? Good. Yep. We did this before our Christmas break. So we're reviewing this and we just got into systems before we take our finals in 2 more weeks. So number 3. Oh, so what is this? We have the exact same. Oh, let me see. We have the exact same handwriting. Were you born in 95? No. I'm super older than 95, baby. I'm like 84. But I am an Aries. So shout out to all my Aries out there. Oh, thank you. Lilo. Yep. 84, baby, over here. So number 3 says, for babysitting, Nicole charges a flat fee of $3 plus $5 per hour. Okay. Good. Key said 3 plus 5H. Okay. Write an equation for the cost C after H hours for babysitting. Okay. So let's write an equation first. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So for babysitting, Nicole charges a flat fee of $3 plus $5 per hour. Hopefully she's a family member and she's just trying to do a favor to her family, because where's this at? Okay. I should put some realistic numbers up in here. Okay. Because this would be heaven. All right. If everybody could just afford this. It's like daycare, like $450, okay? And then $50 an hour, okay? But I got 3 kids, so it's way more than, Okay, so let me get back on track. So we're gonna start with C for the cost. So C equals, okay, 5 per hour. Whenever you see this per, you guys, know that's a rate. Okay, so it's 5 per hour. We're putting H for hour. So plus our flat fee of $3. Now you could have wrote it this way, or you could write it this way. C equals 3 plus 5 per hour, 5H. Both of these are correct. Okay, both of those are 100% correct. So now it says, what do you think the slope and the y-intercept represent? So what do you think the slope and the y-intercept represent? So, you guys, I'm not in English, so this probably is like, what is she even asking? But what does the slope represent? Does anybody know? What grade do we learn this in America? 9th grade. Cost per hour. Yes. The slope is how much she's charging me per hour to keep my kids. Perfect. So that's what the slope represents. Okay. So the slope, she's charging me $5 per hour to watch my babies. Okay. To watch a kid or kids. Okay. some kids, or however you want to say it, to watch kids. Okay. The y-intercept is what? What is the y-intercept? So before she even starts babysitting, I'm paying her $3. That's her flat fee. So before I even say, oh, can you watch my kids for this? She's charging me $3. Yep. So she's charging me $3 just to even drop off my kids. So it's $3 for like that's her fee before babysitting. Okay. So like sometimes, like, let's make this into real worlds. Like if you have a housing plumbing, right? They'll charge you for just coming out to look at what the problem is. And then they tack on how much per hour for the work. Okay. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense of what I'm trying to say. So how much money will she make if she babysits for 5 hours? Can you guys tell me? How much do I have to pay her at the end of the night after I got home from working for 5 hours? $28, $18, $28, $28. Good. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to plug in 5 into this equation. So we're going to do C equals 5 times 5 plus 3. Okay. Well, 5 times 5 is 25 plus 3, $28. This got to be a family member, okay? No, that ain't even no family member, okay? This is slave work, okay? Because, no, they be paying way more than that. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I have to run and pick up my kids and get ready for dinner. I will be on tomorrow night, though, okay? Doing GED math with you guys. So thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Bye, you guys. And I will respond to those emails later. Thank you for emailing me.